Business is booming in the high-end art market. Christie's and Sotheby's spring auctions racking up $2 billion in sales, and Wall Street Journal reporter Kelly Crow is here to walk us through the priciest hits and the biggest flops. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good, I'm good. Let's pick up a painting or two this week?
Not yet, but you're going to inform me. Let's start with the winners. Why is it such a good spring for Alexander Calder?
So, again, collectors have spent the better part of the last decade, right, sort of hoovering up all of the greatest sort of 20th century art they can get their hands on. During the recession, this Pennsylvania sculptor, he just performed really well. I mean, when prices were free-falling for a lot of other artists, his sculptures, these sort of spindly little forms that float in the air, just sort of stood apart quite literally. And so now collectors feel like, okay, like, he rode through the tough years and now he really matters, and so they've taken his prices from $6 million a few years ago to now this week one sold for $25 million.
Unbelievable.
So a pretty good return on these pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stakes were really high for Richard Prince too. How did he make out?
Yeah, it's been really fascinating to watch his career as well. He's a photographer and he's known for taking appropriating images from movies, from television ads, magazine ads. Let's see, the Marlboro Man, he used to just sort of strip out like the cowboy and put it on his own work and say that was my work. His prices were really volatile during the recession and right after. Even last year, I think only about $11 million worth of his stuff sold at auction. This season, though, 20 pieces came up this week alone, so it was a really good market test for him, and he performed really well. One of his works sold for about $8.5 million. He does also paintings of kind of pulp novel nurses, sort of fun things that sort of seem kitschy, but honestly to these young baby boomer guys who have made their fortunes, he's right in line with their pop culture sensibility, and now he's sort of making a comeback.
Okay, so we've seen the guys on the upside. What about Rothko? I mean, his stuff hasn't gone over very well. Why is that?
Yeah, well, I think it's more about collectors learning how to sift between the good and the great. So Mark Rothko, everyone knows he matters to art history. These sort of rectangular stacks of colors are sort of textbook abstract expressionism. So he matters, but he also did a lot of work. So what's one rectangle, why is it worth $60 million and another one not worth $5? I think collectors are getting really smart and deciding that, that they're willing to pay more for some than the other. The big ones, like 8.5 feet, the big wall power paintings are doing really well. Phillips sold another one for $52 million last night. God. So those, if it's you know the size of a door, go ahead and buy it, especially if it's in sort of a sunset color. So bright reds, bright oranges, bright blues, they're doing really well. But the darker palettes, the blacks, the dark browns, the muted colors are not. So just like in nature, right? The prettiest birds are the ones we like best.
What was it like to be in that room? I mean,
it was wild.
These paintings are going for so much money.
Yeah, it is. If you can imagine sort of Hollywood meets Wall Street meets, you know, the prettiest people at any party, right? They're all kind of sitting in this one big auction room bidding, you know, million by million for pieces. It's a really heady sort of theater to be a part of, and by all evidence, it's doing really well.
Yeah, it's more than paintings, right? It's just art in general.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's art. Yeah, paintings, sculptures, videos, photographs, but people pay most for the paintings, I think. So.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot.